Hello and welcome to Tech24. I'm Anelise Borges. Coming up, Facebook's view of the future. The acquisition of Oculus VR by the social media giant gives us a glimpse of the world of tomorrow. And a smarter version of Smart Bracelet Up will put the wireless Up 2.4 to the test. Oculus in Latin means eye. And in a move many analysts see as an attempt to foresee the future, Facebook spent $2 billion to acquire the maker of virtual reality hardware, Oculus VR. Its flagship product, the Oculus Rift, a head-mounted display of two images side by side, one for each eye. A set of lenses is placed on top of the screen, focusing and reshaping the picture for each eye and creating a stereoscopic 3D image. The goggles have embedded sensors that monitor the wearer's head motions and adjust the image accordingly. The result gives us the sensation that you're looking around a 3D world. Virtual reality. Calling it the most social platform ever, Mark Zuckerberg said Oculus had the potential to be the technology platform of the future.
Meet Oculus, the latest in a string of recent Facebook acquisitions. Tech experts have raved about their Rift headset, yet to be released, but already more than 75,000 orders have been placed. Oculus has its sights on revolutionizing video games, and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg said that will remain the priority, though he also hopes the technology will change how people communicate.
Imagine enjoying a courtside seat at a game, studying in a classroom of students and teachers all over the world, or consulting with a doctor face-to-face just by putting on goggles in your home. This is really a new communication platform.
In the past, consumers have shunned headsets for more traditional gaming consoles, but tech giants are betting that could change. Sony is developing a virtual reality headset, and this will be Facebook's first plunge into hardware, following rival Google's own foray with its glass headset. The Oculus acquisition also fits some broader strokes of Facebook's strategy in acquiring companies in hopes of bridging different platforms like photo sharing Instagram for $1 billion or the messaging service WhatsApp for $19 billion. These businesses have provided little revenue, but Facebook is counting on their popularity and wide user base. In the case of Oculus, though, it remains to be seen if virtual reality will lead to real profits.
And I'm now joined by Liam Boger from the French tech news site Rude Baguette. Liam, what exactly is Mark Zuckerberg trying to achieve with Oculus?
Well, by acquiring Oculus, Zuckerberg's gotten into a few different things. On the one hand, he's shown that they're not just a web product. Up until now, they've mainly been a website, and he's shown that they're willing to go into hardware. So a lot of people are focusing on the fact that this is their first big hardware acquisition. On the other side of that, there really is this tendency. Mark Zuckerberg really wants us to believe that a pair of goggles that block your vision from what's going on around you are social. And I don't know if everyone is necessarily as convinced about that as he is, but he seems to think that it is the future of interaction with people.
A lot of people are comparing that and Google Glass, and you don't agree with that comparison.
No, I think it's easy to say eyewear and eyewear, okay, maybe this is Facebook's reaction to Google, but I don't think it's the same play at all. Google Glass is a smartphone on top of your eye. Virtual reality is an entirely different thing. It could potentially be a social network that is immersive. It could actually be, I go and visit my doctor, but I don't need to be physically sitting in front of him. And so I really think where Google Glass is dipping into augmented reality, virtual reality is not even a step forward. It's a completely different route.
Now, Oculus was created through a crowdfunding campaign that raised $2.4 million in 2012. What exactly was it developed to do?
Yeah, so initially, a lot of what has gotten people interested about virtual reality is games. And so originally, Oculus wanted to create a virtual reality game console. And the game console would be worn on your head as goggles. And as it's gone forward, it evolved, and people saw quickly an educational aspect to it. one of the demo apps that you get when you buy an Oculus Rift, or when the platform contributors receive it, is an immersive experience in space. And so there was clearly the idea that it doesn't just have to be video games. And as people expand out, people have begun to say that you can do basically everything as soon as anything you want as soon as you start thinking about virtual reality.
And now a little bit of history here. Where does the concept of virtual reality come from, and what other uses are possible for this technology?
Definitely. Well, ironically, virtual reality comes from video games. We haven't come that far. In 1985, Jason Lanier, who was working at Atari at the time, a pioneer in the video game space, saw this technology for sort of interactive gaming. He saw the data glove, which was this huge foray into the idea of wearing a glove and being able to send information based on your movements. And he started a company and really pioneered the term virtual reality.
And in what other areas can it be applied to?
I think the opportunities are endless. Everything from virtual visits, virtual interactions. Anything where today the most annoying part of doing something is physically being there, and that really isn't the value added, I think we can replace it with virtual reality.
All right, well, thanks for that, Liam, but don't go away. Up next is Test 24. Jawbone's Up to 4 wristband helps you monitor how you move, eat, and sleep through wireless connectivity. That band syncs automatically with your phone and delivers insights that helps you keep going. Liam tested it for us. What did you think?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I really like it. We've tried a lot of bracelets in the past at Brut Baguette, and I think Jawbone is really done the best job. So first of all, it's comfortable. I could wear this all day without really thinking. It snaps on and it snaps off really quickly. The second is it's easy to use. So the first thing you see is there's only one button, and the entire interaction is a series of symbols. And so for me, that's really amazing that everything I do is just this one button, a long push or a short push, and everything else is done with the Jawbone application. And so with the Jawbone application, you have an entire interface where you can set goals for yourself, you can see how far you've walked, and it measures everything you do. And it's not just a pedometer like some traditional players, but it's also a sleep monitor. So at night, you hold down a button and you set it to sleep mode, and now it's going to tell you how long you slept, whether you turned in your sleep, and things like that, and give you a little more data. And so personally, I really like it.
And Jawbone is quoting 7 days of battery life for the Up to 4. Is that good or bad compared to other bracelets in the market? How does the Up to 4 stand up against other bracelets?
So in terms of battery life, I think as soon as you're getting out into 7 days of battery life, you're pretty set. I mean, on the one hand, the problem with wearables is you have a tendency to want to wear them always. So charging is a downtime when you're not using them. But on the other side of that, I mean, you have to charge your iPhone, you have to charge your wearables. That's going to happen, and I think 1 week is a perfect time duration. Lining up with other wearables, I think the only real competition that Jawbone faces is with the Nike Fuel Band, and again, it comes back to the application. Nike did a big investment in making sure that the community, the software experience, there's an entire Fuel community behind Nike, and obviously Nike carries a big fitness brand behind them, and so I think as an independent company, Jawbone stands up pretty well.
All right, well, thanks for that, Liam. And thank you for tuning in for another edition of Tech 24. That's all we have time for, but you can keep the conversation going and you can get in touch with us on Facebook or on Twitter. Our hashtag is Tech24. And we leave you today with more virtual reality, the augmented reality changing room. Through a set of cameras and sensors strapped to the cabin, users can try on items without unfastening a single button. The Fashion 3D unit was introduced at the Flux Innovation Lounge in East London this week. Thanks for joining us, and stay with us here on France 24.